Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Scoop on Blogging podcast. I am your girl, Xaviera, and I'm very excited because today I have one of the most amazing people as a guest on the show, Mrs. Deidre Gaskin. And she is the brainchild. She is the founder. She is the CEO of Maylee Media. So, Deidre, welcome to the Scoop on Blogging podcast, girl. I'm so happy to have you here. This has been a long time in the making, So I'm just very excited to have you here. I wanted to have you as a guest on the show because you are one of the members of media that I admire. You're not in the media side of things. You are like the puppet master on the puppet master side because you are a publicist. So for those of you who wonder what a publicist does, for me, when I first came in, I was like, the publicist is the OG. So you got to go through the OG if you want to get to the talent. And that is Deidre. So Deidre, for those who may not know, just right off the top, explain what a publicist is.
So a publicist is someone that knows PR, first of all, and PR is public relations. And they are really the plug, if you will, to getting their talents on red carpets, to getting their talents in these interviews, whether it's TV, radio, online blogs. Those are things that we do. So our job is to create buzz around a product, service, or brand or person.
Got it.
Yeah. So we're not babysitters. We're not booking agents. Yeah, we're not lawyers.
Not managers.
We're not managers. We are strictly responsible for your exposure. And visibility. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about you. Let's start with learning all about Mrs. Deidre Gaskin.
What you want to know?
Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Hawkinsville, Georgia, which is a small town in middle Georgia where Jeezy is from. Okay.
Okay.
Let me clarify that. He's not from Atlanta. He's from Hawkinsville. And he do go back home. So I am from Hawkinsville. I grew up in Eastman, Georgia, and by way of Pass Christian, Mississippi, which is about 45 minutes out from New Orleans. So I'm a Southern girl, country girl. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Got it. Hawkinsville. As soon as you said Hawkinsville, I was like, hey, is that where Stranger Things is? But that's not Hawkinsville. I was like, hey, is that where Stranger Things is?
Hawkinsville about as big as our screen right now. It ain't nothing there.
But see, the smallest towns had the biggest stars. I don't care what nobody says.
They do. Of course, you got Jeezy. Then you got, what's the football player name? Used to play for the Panthers, Charles Johnson. He's from Hawkinsville. So I believe in big talent comes from small towns, small schools. Like people underestimate like the JUCOs. Like I believe that's where the biggest talent is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what made you decide to go into public relations? Uh-oh, Deirdre, you froze on me. If you can hear me, just go out and come right on back in. There she is. Okay, you froze on me. I said you froze on me for a second. Are you good?
I'm good now.
Okay. I was like, anytime. But it's so funny because at first when something like that would happen, I would like go into panic mode. But I'm like, now everybody has to do everything over stream and all that. So now I'm just like, girl, I can't hear you. Going out. I always be like, go out and come back in. So if you see me do that,
I'm trying to move closer, like pushing my laptop towards the modem. Like, okay, is that gonna help?
It's okay. It is okay. Trust me, I have been through all of it. So I was asking you, what made you decide to go into public relations?
I think I got into PR by accident because if you don't know my background, I played sports. I played basketball and I ran track at the college level. So sports was all I know, all I wanted to know, all I did. I didn't do hair. I didn't do nails. I didn't have a talent outside of playing sports, but I've always had a knack for media. So in high school, I was one of the producers for our, morning school news. And I love to just showcase things and tell people stories. But when I started college, I wanted to do theater. but the program kind of ended because it wasn't enough people to have an actual program. But they did have theater, like a club, so they made it into like a club. Okay. So I did theater, but I ended up majoring in communications, just, you know, because I like writing, I like media. But when I transferred to Georgia State, real life hit real quick, and I was not able to play sports anymore. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know how to be just an athlete. I'm used to being like a student athlete. So I was like, you know what? I got to figure something out. So I like media, so I majored in film and video. And then I took a double major in a PR, and this is how I kind of knew what a publicist was. Okay. You remember the show The Game? With Tim Moore and Pooch. Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to be Dion and Tasha Mack as one person. I was like, I'm going to do what they doing, because Tasha making sure her baby's straight, and Dion is getting these athletes out there. So I researched what a publicist was, and then I took my second major on as journalism with a concentration in PR. And then I just started freelancing, interning wherever I could.
Wow. Yeah. So how does one go from interning and, you know, to running and launching their own PR firm? How does one do that?
I think that was by accident, because
you know everything. Be like, so girl, how did you hit the lottery? Well, that was by accident. I was going to Quick Trip to buy some peanuts, some boiled peanuts.
Not boiled peanuts. No, for real, because I think now looking back, like, everybody want to be a boss. Everybody want to be an entrepreneur. I personally don't believe that's everybody's mission in life. Yeah. I just think that it's something that God himself have to give you. Yeah. I was in corporate America. I was trying to collect my corporate check and get my corporate benefits. Like, I was like, let me climb that ladder, because I know it's security there. And I didn't really think about having my own business. I don't really know what entrepreneurship is. Well, I didn't know. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurship. Like, my family, 9 to 5, everybody had 9 to 5, or, you know, we from the projects, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing like that was kind of foreign to me.
Listen, so, Deidre, the only entrepreneurs in the neighborhood was getting locked up or shot.
Okay. They were pharmacists.
Street pharmacists.
Yes. See, that's all I knew. That's all I grew around. You know what I'm saying? My dad, you know, he was out there, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't know what to do. I want to help somebody else. Now, one thing I will say is I'll serve. So I went from interning, like shadowing, volunteering, anywhere I could. And I wasn't concerned about getting paid. I think that's another thing too. Everybody want to get a check and no experience. Like, I don't know how that worked, but okay.
Me neither.
So I went from that, and so I think it was April 17th, I was working with the trade show organization, and all of us, they cut like their marketing department, and they just wanted like graphic designers. I can't do graphic design, not like that. So they cut like me and like 5 other people, and I was like, you know what? And at the time, I had Maylee Media on the side, just as a little side hustle, you know, because eventually I want to work for a big firm. Right. But, you know, April 17th, the job got lost or whatever. April 23rd, I got my business license, and that was in 2015. I never looked back. So I think that being an entrepreneur, it was something that had to be forced out of me, because it wasn't something that I was chasing. I was chasing the check from corporate America.
from corporate. That's when you use all the syllables. From corporate.
Okay.
America. But, you know, what's funny to me is that there was this post, and, you know, every morning, you know, Ice Cream Convos, I post like little quotes and things of that nature.
Yeah, y'all be giving me life in the morning.
Yeah, you know, to try to inspire people to start their day. But there was this one quote, and sometimes I can't remember like the last time I posted a particular quote, because I save all of them just from my personal. But it said something to the effect of, God will push you when you're not willing to move. Like if you get comfortable in your space. So to me, when you tell me that, all I'm thinking about is that quote. You were working at that particular company. They were like, we don't want nobody but the graphic designers. And you already had Maylee Media. You was growing it on the side, right? So God was like, see, she growing it on the side, but she need to give this thing her undivided attention. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all let Deidre go today. Let her go today. She'll be all right. Let her go today. She'll be all right.
And I was trying to work with other firms, like other PR firms, but the opportunities, they just wasn't there. And it's not like I wanted to come in and take over. I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow. I wanted to assist. I didn't want my own firm. But you know what? What's crazy is when I tried to name it, this was like in 2013, 2014. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do something on the side. Cause at the time I did have a client and I'm like, well, I need a name if I'm going to have a firm. I was trying to name it after myself. And you know what? I was like, what would my grandmother do? How would she help me? And then I was like, you know what? Just name it after her. And I think that
that's
took
beautiful.
more, resonation with my brand and more with people that I named it after her. So I just kept going. Because if it was named after me, I probably would have quit a long time ago.
No, see, that's not me. You know what? That is so, but you know what? Thank you. I never knew that. And thank you for telling me that, because that is such a beautiful thing. Because I was raised by my great grandmom, so that hit different when you tell me your business is named after you. So tomorrow when you log on to Instagram, it's going to be Lula May Conversations.
Okay.
Be like, wait a minute.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God.
I just love that, that you
Yeah.
named it after your grandmother, because I think it's just such a beautiful way to pay like homage to her. And grandmoms, those praying grandmoms, and that love and that spirit that always sit over you, the love of the ancestors. So you are being covered by your grandmother in all of your steps. So that is beautiful. That is really beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really want to do something to honor her. And like, even with PR, girl, don't you do not get me started. I promise you will be on this darn thing all day. I'll be crying up a storm, honey. Don't get me started.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I'm just kind of feeling okay.
Oh, please. I promise you we'll be here all day. But I named it after her because my grandmother, and I'm not just saying this because she was my grandmother, I'm saying it because I witnessed it. I think when I really, really started to notice is like, we'll have strangers in our house. And I'm talking about like game bangers, drug dealers. And it's like, these are the roughest people. But when they see her, it's like so much respect. I remember the Thanksgiving before she passed, this was right after Katrina. So if you guys don't know, we had to move to Memphis because that was Hurricane Katrina. We had to move to Memphis, and it was okay neighborhood, but the city itself, Memphis is bad. Let's just say that. Like, Memphis is cutthroat. We stayed next to some Bloods. But when they seen her, it was like mama. And I remember like coming home from school or coming home from I think it was like a basketball tournament because it was around Thanksgiving. And I mean, it was like 6, 7 dudes deep, like, what's going on? And they smiling, but they eating, they talking, they making sure she's straight. I wish I had the pictures. And I'm like, wow. I remember somebody stole her, because we stayed on the bottom floor. Somebody stole her patio furniture. By the end of the day, we had it back because they took it upon themselves to go get it and find out who was it. And I was like, if I do something, I want people to remember her like that. So as a publicist, our relationships are everything. And my grandmother, she never met a stranger, and neither do we. So that's the kind of approach that I took in my business. Yeah.
That is absolutely beautiful. And no, you don't meet a stranger, because I still remember meeting you and just thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, she is. First thing was the smile. I was like, oh my gosh, she has the best smile ever. And then you were and it was so cute. And you just have like this like you were just bubbly, just bubbling. Even when you were frustrated, because sometimes working those carpets be different.
You already know.
It'd be different. But one of the things that I loved about you was that you were bubbly, but then you would get somebody together real quick and then be back bubbly. And I was like, she got them together so quick and she was bubbly. Like, you can't even get mad. You be like, oh, she's smiling. Hey, girl. Like, I just love that about you.
Yeah.
Like, you would just gather somebody and then be back bubbly. Like, okay, next up, coming to I was like, oh.
Because I try to keep my personality. I don't try to be so formal or so boring or like that mean girl. That's not me. Like, this is me in real life. Like, I'm a big kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. But starting out, like Angie, I don't know if you know Angie from Women.
Girl, the goat. The goat.
She had to get on me one time because this is my first time ever. I ran a carpet for her when I was working with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. I ran a carpet for her. Or was it like a gift this week? Something we was doing.
Okay.
And I was just letting everybody on the carpet. I was very timid. I was like, I don't know. She got me together so quick. And I think that's what that came from. It's just making sure, like, listen, make sure you hold it down. You can be bubbly, but you got to stand your ground too. Because in the industry, people be trying to come up and get photos and interviews that ain't really supposed to be there. Yep. So I had to kind of, stand my ground on that. And I credit Angie for that because she don't play.
I'm media. I am media. And I credit Angie for getting me together as media. I absolutely love Angie. Let me tell you something. It's so funny. Okay, so sidebar. I always tell this story, and I know she probably is so tired of me telling this story, but I got to tell it again.
Okay.
Anytime I get the opportunity to talk about Angie, I'm going to tell this story. Okay. So Angie was like one of the first people to start inviting me to events. Okay. Like major events. Mm-hmm. I would get invited to like Cornbread and Skillet about to drop a new single, be like, ooh, okay. Mm-hmm. That type of stuff. But Angie was inviting me to some stuff. You know how Angie,
Yeah.
And I saw you, and I would see you there as well. But anyway, so Angie would invite me to things. I'm like, oh man, like I feel like real media. Like I'm going to these things. And so she invited me to this one event, and it was a Bentley event for Bentley. So I'm like, dang, that's a big deal. It was Pink Magazine. It was Pink Magazine and Bentley. And it was this big dinner.
I remember that.
Okay. So it's at some places I ain't never been before, because, I don't really come out. I go from the house to Papados and back. But anyway.
Not Papados.
So, girl, I love Papados. So Angie invites me to this event. I get the invitation, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I was like, what am I going to wear? So I grabbed one of my little Michael Kors dresses or whatever that I thought made me look fancy. So I get there and I go and I get on the carpet. So I got my little camera and all that. And I'm cha-ching, people coming up, cha-ching. So Angie comes up. Angie said, Xaviera. I said, She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. If you don't get your way, get your. I said, but you. She said, I invited you as a guest. Girl, I thought I was supposed to be media.
Oh, wow.
Listen, so anytime people talk about a seat at the table, I always think back to Angie.
Yes.
Because Angie gave me a seat at the table.
Yes.
And in hindsight, I realized by her doing that, it elevated me as someone in media, because people are like, oh, what's the little ice cream site? What is it? What y'all talk about over there? But when I was, I would go cover these events, and sometimes people will talk to me. Sometimes they'll just give me a little whatever. But she had me sitting at the table with like owners of Bentley, the biggest names in reality TV or film, and these business women, and these I was sitting amongst. Media was still downstairs snapping pictures.
Yeah.
I'm upstairs sitting at the table. So then all of those people at the table gave me a different type of respect versus, she just a blogger.
Right.
She just got a little site and blah, blah. It was a totally different experience. And I'm sure she knows because she be knowing. But in hindsight, she elevated me. Just by simply doing that. And one of the things that I always noticed about you that I thought was so freaking amazing about you, and you probably just was like, well, it's just part of the grind. But I loved how you were willing to work with everybody.
Yeah.
And when I say everybody, I'm talking about everybody that was on the up and up, of course. But I would go to an event that was for this particular, but Deidre's working the carpet. Oh, hey, Deidre. Hey, Zoe. I go to this event for this person. Oh, Deidre's working the car. Oh, hey, I was like, this girl be do she sleep? But I realized that was part of, it might be part of the grind, or it just might be a part of you being of service. But
I think it was both. On
the outside looking in, I'm just like, she just so dope. Like there's nobody. And it also speaks to you because I'm like, there's nobody that she can't work with. Because some people like, she do her thing, but she won't stay over there. So everyone wanted to work with you. So that spoke to who you are as well. So my mom made me be proud, girl. My mom made me
I hope so. Like Angie, she was the first. She wasn't the first publicist I met, but she was the first one that kind of mentored me. If you don't know who Deidre Cochetta is, that's the first firm I worked for as far as intern.
I remember her.
Yes, I worked with her until she passed, unfortunately, from breast cancer. But she took me in, and Angie played a key role in that too. And Saptosta, she was the one that really started inviting me to the stuff, like all these red carpet events once I got my own firm. But I always pay homage. You got to, because you got to remember you started off somewhere. And the great thing about my firm is you don't have to be a celebrity. Like I make that known that you don't have to be a celebrity to hire me. I want to make that very clear because people think that you just need to be celebrity. No, not at all.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a good thing. I'm glad that you clarified that as well too. At what point, for anyone listening, at what point do you feel like someone who has a business or someone who may be a celebrity or in sports, at what point in their career do they need to seek out a publicist? Like, when
they have a budget?
Yeah. Well, for starters.
For starters.
And
I'm not talking about, $600, $700, $800. No, most Hollywood PR firms, their retainers start at $5,000, $10K, $20K per month. My retainer is not there yet. I mean, it will get there. Y'all keep playing. But at least have a budget of $2,000 or more per month. And then also, when you have a story, I can't stand to see people just because you got followers on Instagram, like, okay, you feel like you're a brand, but what are you influencing as an influencer? What is your brand story? For instance, if you have a hair company, okay, what's different than the other hair company? What are you doing different? Do you have a product to go with it? Are you catering to certain target, like people with alopecia? Like, when you have a brand story. And also when you're ready to be in the media. So let's say that let's say you're a motivational speaker and you've been speaking like summer everywhere, but you don't have media. That is the time to get your story out, to say that you've spoken Europe, you've spoken Italy, you've spoken LA, like you've done all these things. Those are the times to hire a publicist. It also could be a launch. Let's say that you are launching an event or you're launching a book. You would definitely want to draw in media attention from that too. So having a budget, having a story when you're ready for press and in the event of a launch per se. And then I would say, let's say you're starting your business from the ground up, be focused more on marketing than PR, because you need to focus on how to get the sale. PR is not sales. We just generate the exposure from those sales. So in turn, hopefully increase more sales, but that's not our primary focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I follow a lot of publicists, yourself included, Angie. I follow Women in PR, which is Angie's collective. And one of the things that I noticed, because one time I had the nerve.
What you did?
Child, I thought I needed a publicist, right?
What you do?
Because
oh, Lord.
I thought I needed a publicist. Hear me out. I thought I needed a publicist because with Ice Cream Conversations, I've been doing this for 10 years. And I'm like, with Ice Cream Conversations, nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares. And I'm like, and I feel like I have something good going on. And I was like, maybe I just want some more people to know who I am. So I'm thinking exposure, publicists. Publicists will get you exposure. But I do realize in watching how some people deal with publicists, they think publicists are magicians, or as my baby used to say, magicians. They are not magicians. See, you have to, and one of the things that you said that kind of resonates with me, because, and that's why I love having these conversations. You said, what is your brand story? And I feel like, with Ice Cream Conversations, I'll be fully transparent. My audience cares about Ice Cream Conversations. My audience don't care about me. I could be in the middle of the street and a car be coming and they'll be like, did she get them post out earlier today? They don't care about me. And, there was a story out one time, and you probably remember this. There was a girl, she had like 1 million followers, and she needed to sell 1,000 t-shirts to start a business, and she couldn't do it. And everybody was clowning her. That would be me. That would be me. And so while everybody was like, she couldn't even sell 1,000 t-shirts. I was like,
don't do that.
But it's true.
That. You're right.
It's true.
Right. You're
I have
right.
sold t-shirts before, and I can count on my hand, maybe 2, how many people bought t-shirts. So it was, at the same, it's different. And, a brand story, I feel like if you have a brand story, it allows people to connect to you through the story, to care about you as well as the brand. So right now, I'm actually in the process of trying to grow my brand for me, like a personal brand, so to speak, right? Because now I have to realize that the Ice Cream Convos community is not my community. I just fostered them, right? But they don't belong to me.
Yeah, because you're behind it, and people. And I will use this example because you're a blogger, you're a journalist. I will use this example. The reason why people know Nicole from XO Nicole, because she included her name, she included herself in the brand. So you'll be different from that. Yeah.
And it's funny because, I actually, in my online course, The Scoop on Blogging, I included that. I included that as one of my pro tips, that if you plant it, if you just want to create, because there's some people who don't want to know, some of them sites, they don't want you to know who behind them. They don't. But if you want to be known, or if you want to brand yourself along with your outlet or whatever it is that you're doing, the major key, include yourself in the name. The Jasmine brand, Nicole Bitchy, those things like that. You just, Perez Hilton, you just insert your name right there in it. And that's a pro tip, because now people, oh, that's Nicole Bitchy. People look at me and go, yo, ice cream.
They do that to me too. Like, I remember at an event, I think I saw you. It was at was it at SCAD Atlanta or somewhere over there? And I'm in the bathroom, and bubbly. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? And we started talking. I was like, well, what do you do? And she was like, I do this. And she was like, well, what do you do? I was like, well, I'm a publicist on Maylee Media. She was like, you're Maylee Media? Oh my God, I follow you. I'm like, it scared me because I'm like, I don't know if people be watching me that hard. Like, my job is to get my clients out there, but the fact that people don't know it's me is still kind of like shocking because people will call me Maylee or they don't know that I'm Maylee Media. Yeah, so I need it.
I'm telling you, and it's funny now, speaking of a weird encounter, I was at an event and a perfect stranger just walked up to me and was like, what's up, Xaviera? I was like, God is good. Like, I'm gonna throw Jesus at you right away because I don't know what you came here to do. I was like, God is good. He was like, yeah. He was like, I've been following you for a long time. He was just a fan. But so that threw me off. But at the same time, that also reminded me, don't get on social media telling people where you at.
I don't put my location on nothing. And if I do, I've been there already. I ain't there.
I'm home. I'm already back in the bed. Like, it was lit at the such and such. I'm already at home in the bed.
Exactly.
So that's very important as far as, having a story. So I'll be all over the place because I have fun with you. So having a story is very important. And also you mentioned, like just having the exposure, like getting the exposure. What is challenging for you as a publicist? What do you find most challenging?
Well, I mean, every day is challenging, especially when you don't deal with celebrities. You have to pitch twice as hard. But I think I'll use just this pandemic as an example. Nobody cares about your brand new shoes. Nobody cares about your new hairline. Nobody cares about your new lip gloss line. Nobody cares. We're suffering as a nation. So if it's not newsworthy in regards to current events, it's really, really hard to pitch. So you have to get something that resonates with the media and what they want to talk about. So for instance, I did this event called Social Proof Success Live and basically telling people why they need PR for their businesses. And one way I was kind of able to cultivate those, key interview was saying like everybody's starting their businesses now, but they're missing this one component and it's Social Proof Success Live. So that was something I was able to gain, pitches off of and get features off of. So it's just a way to pivot during these times. And then also I would say for me, I'm not a salesperson. I know that sounds weird as a publicist because my job is to persuade, but getting new clients, that's nothing that I'm good at. All of my clients have been referrals or they shot in the DM. It's never really been like, I went out and got this that's something that I struggle with, but by the grace of God, I mean, word of mouth still works. So that's something that I struggle with. I'm not a salesperson at all. Like my husband was like, what do you think about real estate? I don't like rejection. So I don't know if I'd be good at real estate.
Listen, I will hang on to a no for years as Essence. I'm so mad.
All right.
I will hang on to a no because I don't know if I told you, but I applied for Essence Fest and I was like, this is my chance. I'm going to get to go.
I denied.
Then I won't tell you. So we can move on. Moving right along. I will not tell you. Girl, when I tell you, I was bitter as some collard greens that didn't have turkey necks in them or no apple cider vinegar or no onions, no seasoning, no none. I was straight up bitter as collard greens, girl.
See, in that instance, you should have called a PR friend that knows people that know people that know people to get you in there instead of just going through the talent submissions. Because I did SNFest as a publicist and as media, and it was like that because I knew the people that was behind it. So it wasn't like I had to go through all the pros and cons and protocols and stuff. So in that instance, call somebody up and be like, listen.
Girl, even when they started dropping new covers, I was like, I ain't posting that cover. Forget y'all.
Wow, that's crazy.
So speaking of rejection, I do not like rejection. And
I can't deal with it. I think that's bad. So don't listen to me for you business owners out there. I can't deal with rejection. So don't take my advice on that. I'm still working on that myself. So don't listen to me.
God is still working.
Because I can't. Because I'm the kind of person, like, it irritates me. Like, I don't like being ignored. I'd rather you just tell me no. Like that kind of stuff kind of like really gets to me and I don't like it.
Now me on the flip side, I'm afraid to tell people no. So I'll be like,
No, well, I can't. You know,
I'd be
people. I don't
scared to
know.
tell people
For me,
no.
I'd rather just be like, no, this ain't working, and we'll say why. Then we'll come away. You know, I just want to figure it out. Don't leave me hanging and wondering. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like shooting your shot, and they leave you on red. What is it?
Listen, is we going to Papa Do's or no?
Or no?
Or
Okay.
no? Let me know what we doing. Don't just leave me.
Let me know.
Yeah,
I
you're
think,
right.
but I think that's just me though, because a lot of people they can brush it off. Me, I can't. I'll be like,
No.
why?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we can, because I need to know. Like for instance, it's plenty of times as a publicist, you're gonna get no's, but I need to know why this doesn't work, and then that way you're helping me become better
Yes.
at my job. So
Yes.
I think you had a situation like that. It just didn't fit. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. We'll try again, 2 months from now when
Mhm.
you're working on this particular.
But I
That's
told
helping
you.
us
I told
learn.
you.
You did.
Yep.
I will say that you did, and I appreciate that. Instead of just bombarding you. And I know a lot of journalists, they get it, but I just rather you just tell me no or not right now so I can find a way to finagle it
Yeah.
back.
And have
Yeah.
a better understanding.
Yeah.
Because what I need from you is I have a song for everything in life.
You
I do. I have a song for everything, girl. I literally have to stop myself from singing. People like, okay. But,
I do the same thing, but I got you.
Absolutely. So, the pandemic hit, and how has the pandemic impacted your business? I know you touched on it a little bit before as far as, but overall.
It was crazy. Last year, 2020, around this time, I was going. I had like maybe 5 flights and a month and a half. I was a superstar. I was in Memphis. I was at all superstar, Super Bowl, All Star, Memphis. Like I was just back and forth to all these sporting events. But once like March hit, like right after my birthday,
girl,
I mean, it was like silence. And what's funny is I had an event in June that I was supposed to do in DMV, but we had to cancel because DMV was like, at that time, they was like, shut it down. We don't care. Because my husband had to go up there because he's in the Army, like to help with that. So we had to shut all that down. And then I did another event like later on, but it switched to virtual. So everybody's doing this virtual stuff. So after November, I thought I was like done, like, cause nobody's really out and I get invites, but I don't go anywhere. And most of my clients are not here. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just take a break. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna wait till around March 2021 to kind of pick back up. But lo and behold, that's when I got the social proof success thing. And like people are wanting to do more events. Then I got another speaking engagement. And that's another way to tell if you are doing what God wants you to do because he won't block anything. You know what I mean? I was ready to call it quits. Like I was done. I told my husband, I'm going to just be a housewife. I'm going to just take care of the house.
Real Housewife of Atlanta. Hey.
Okay. And I was just ready to, be done. Not to say that I was going to completely give it up, but I was okay with not, working. But things happen virtually, and I think that more people are doing these virtual events and virtual speaking engagements. So that's kind of where my business is right now, just doing more virtual events. People can hire me for retainer, but it's just, I think for athletes, they want to be out and about, and it's just not happening right now. It's ways to do it. Of course, they have their favorites, depending on who you are, that can go to these certain red carpet events if they have them, but it's just different. But that doesn't say that you don't need PR. You still need PR. Like I said, most of my clients, they're not even here. So I'm still working on their campaign, but I'm here in Atlanta. They're all over the world. So that doesn't negate the fact that you still need PR. You still need to be in the press. You still need to keep people on the tip of their tongues. You still need to monetize your social media and not depend on that alone, if that makes sense.
It's funny because with the pandemic and how everything has changed and all of that, there's good and bad.
It is.
Because the bad is the pandemic part and people being sick and people losing loved ones and businesses suffering and all that. But girl, that good part, as someone that is a homebody, and I can access anybody now with 2 clicks and sit down and I can interview. And I mean, these are all things that we could have done before, but it was more or less like, oh, well, so you got to book this interview or you got to get this person or whatever. So I do like that, the side of things that is making us be more resourceful in a sense, and
to sit down, because some of us had to be sat down.
And to sit down, because think about it, pre-pandemic, I would be like, girl, so where we gonna meet to do this interview, and where we gonna this and where we going that, and now it's just simply like, babe, I'm going upstairs because I'm gonna talk to Deidre.
Yeah.
You go sit at your desk like, I'm getting ready to do this interview real quick. So I do like that side of things, and I like the side of things that I have access to more. It seems like people are allowing themselves to be more accessible because we have to do it, online.
You're forced to. I mean, you don't have a choice at this point. Like,
Yeah.
even with churches, like, I know some churches, they refuse to go online, but now they're like trying to figure out how to work Facebook. So now you got to grow your fan base that way. So for me, the pandemic has been good and bad. I mean, the good thing is I got married in the middle of the pandemic, and, my sister had a baby, and I was still able to work. But people lost their lives. Like, I lost some loved ones, and COVID is not the only thing that's happening. I lost my godfather. He had sickle cell real bad. I've lost a friend who was dealing with other stuff. So it's like the pandemic kind of just put a cap on some people.
Yes.
Like, we didn't have it up to here. So it's good and bad, but you just got to learn how to pivot. I think I posted this morning, like, I'm in my Bible, but I'm also in my bed, because the word of God, that's the only thing that's going to get me through. I can't depend on everything else, because it's not in our, control. Like, people are breaking down over this election and all this race war stuff. Like, it's a lot. But if you think about it, can't no leader, can't no president do what needs to be done. Only God himself can do that. So sometimes you just got to sit back and be like, all right, God, I trust you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a word.
Yeah. I'll take it for myself. Sometimes we need that reminder, man, because it's crazy. As an entrepreneur, as a wife, trying to be all things to all people, it's hard. It's crazy. And like, sometimes you just want to stay buried under the covers, but you know what? God is still real, so whatever happens is going to happen with or without us, so
yes, absolutely.
Keep that in mind.
Absolutely. So what is next for you? I know that we are all kind of treading slowly because of the pandemic and kind of feeling things out, but what would you like to accomplish in the year of 2021?
You know what? I know this sounds so cliche, but I just want to live. I know that sounds I just want to live and be happy doing it, not worrying about what's next. I just want to enjoy life, because I think 2020, even though I realized life was precious, I think 2020 kind of heightened my, visual for it. Like, the fact that I'm losing people that are my age, and I'm losing people that I just seen yesterday. Like, you know what I'm saying? So in 2021, I just want to live and not take life for granted and just live it to the fullest. And whatever that looks like to God, whatever that looks like to me, whatever that looks like to my husband, I just want to live and have freedom in that, and not necessarily be so caught up in what I don't have and whom I'm not working with and being connected and all this other stuff. Like, I'm not on Clubhouse. I get fussed at every day. I just don't want to be on another app right now. It's too much.
And
I just want to be in the now.
It's so funny, because when you were talking and you were like, you're accepting client, I'm like, every time I get on the chatty house is what I call it, because everybody is different. I literally like, but people are looking for publicists, and I'm just like, I need to drag her name in there or drag her in there or something.
People have been like sending me invites. I really I don't know. I don't know if it's me. I'm just like, I don't want to be on another
You're protecting
app.
your peace. You're protecting your peace.
I am. Like, social media can really destroy a person. Yes. And I think I just got back on Facebook today. Like, I had deleted my Facebook for a week. I deleted my IG for a week.
Okay, because people
was like,
I'm glad
you. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Like, how's she gonna block me? But I'm gonna have her on my show. What is she doing? And then I looked and I said, oh, no, she gone.
Yeah.
I was like, she gone.
I deactivated it for a week. I think I'm gonna start doing it once a month, because for me, I get on there, I try to get content ideas, but then I see stuff that really ain't real, and then I see other stuff, like so much stuff, and I'm like, is this what we doing? Is this what's important to y'all right now? So I had to just back off. So yeah, I'm back now though.
And you're right about that. Because you're right. Some days, and I'm an adult, at least legally, I'm an adult. I'm married. I have grown children and a grandbaby, and I will still log onto social media and see something that will completely alter the way I feel, my mood, or my energy. And I'm like, as an adult, how, you think about like, how am I letting social media, but I will see. And the devil will always make sure I see it. I could literally have the best day. I could get done this interview with you and be like, man, we had such a good time. That's my girl. See, I knew she was going to be a good interview. And I will get on social media and see something that'll just like
Throw your
pop my
mood.
pop my balloon. And so that's why it is important to sometimes unplug. It's very important to protect your peace. Who was it? It was a recent passing. And I thought to myself, I had an epiphany that really shouldn't have been an epiphany. It should have just been common sense. But I think it was Larry King. And I was like, yo, Larry King passed away. The world is going to mourn Larry King because Larry King was an icon, right? He was the OG of this media stuff. And everybody's going to mourn him. They're going to post pictures on social media. They're going to dig up the pictures that they took with him. And then maybe a day or two later, be back to business. And then I thought to myself, you know what? All the stress, all the grinding that I do, all of the, ice cream combos ain't where I want it to be. Or I didn't hit my projected goals I made for myself this month. I didn't, because I literally set yearly projections, quarterly projections, monthly projections, weekly projections, daily projections, and hourly. Like I literally put all the pressure on myself. I apply I apply the pressure, like, when they press right here and somebody pass out, I literally do that to myself. And I'm like, because I just want to keep trying to reach whatever I consider to be success. And then I thought about it and I was like, yo, I don't want, if the God decides to like, look on his calendar and be like, today is going to be Zavi. If he punched my clock, I don't want to get to heaven and be like, yo, I spent like 45 years just chasing something. Just chasing.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like I got you.
I spent 45 years I spent 45 years. I was 10 years trying to blog my way into success. I spent this, I did this, I did that. But when did I go outside? When did I go on a vacation? When did I, and so now I look at everything totally different now. It's like it's
either God is or he ain't. Because I'm not going to be doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that this pandemic, I think Carmelita Jeter, she posted it. Or somebody posted it. You can't watch movies. Like it forced time to be with your family. It forced time to just sit down. And for me, I mean, maybe I'm getting this epiphany now, but like these last couple of days, my back and my neck has been out the woodworks, like just pain. And I think it's been stress because I'm thinking of, like you said, how to meet this goal. Deidre, calm down, because at the end of the day, you ain't got control over nothing. Nope. If God don't want it to work, it ain't gonna work. And not to say that I'm just lazy and I'm just like, okay, God got it. No, sometimes you just gotta, that's all he wants, for you to be still and just trust him. So when I say for 2021, I just want to live, it's literally that, because stress kills. And I'm learning that more and more every day, worrying about what's next. And if Maylee Media gonna be this, Maylee Media can do whatever. It's Deidre Gaskin soul saved to make it in.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's really my mind right now.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And that's what we have to remember, because, we all have like goals and things that we want to achieve and all that, but you can't kind of get blindsided by your own goals or get blindsided by your own, aspirations. Like you have to remember to live this life, because when you get to heaven, God not going to care about how many people read your site. God not gonna care about how many clients you had. Ain't nobody gonna be in heaven like, oh my, hey, we need you over here to run this carpet down. Oh, Deidre, girl. Oh, thank God, thank you, Lord. Deidre,
yes,
we need you to run this carpet down here because Moses is having a shindig. Because, like, what? Nobody,
you know what, that is crazy, but this is so real. I'm glad we're having this conversation. You can't talk like this to everybody, but people need to realize that, especially believers. Like, we can't say we believe and then we leaving it all on us to make things happen. No, I gotta give my creativity to the creator and let it happen. You know what I mean? So that's my 2021 goal, is just to live, and whatever that looks like.
Absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And I concur and I resemble that statement, and I'm going to copycat it all the way to.
Yes.
Because I'm serious. It just is. And it will take so much off of you. I was sitting watching TV, like, I feel like somebody choking me. My husband like, huh? I'm like, it feels like somebody's choking me. Oh, wow. Stress. It is stress. And, stress kills. It causes weight loss.
It do. If you really Google like how stress can kill you, it's stuff we're doing on a day-to-day. Like, I literally don't mind unplugging now. Like, Y'all ain't finna kill me.
Take it from someone who had to wear a heart monitor because I thought I was having heart issues. It turned out to be anxiety. Girl, I had to wear a heart monitor for a week. Because I thought that my heart was going bad. It was stress. It was stress. So with that being said, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation because a lot of times when people are trying to grow their business, a lot of times when people are in those stages of trying to build, that stress be something different.
It's so much.
Listen, you do your part and then trust God to take the rest. That's all.
Exactly.
Just do your part. Trust
Give
God
it to God and go to sleep. That's literally my motto every night. Like, whatever didn't get done, it'll be there tomorrow, Lord's willing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know probably people like, oh my gosh, she's so preachy. Listen, I'm being for real because I was like that. I'm still like that. I still have my days. I'm not just over here like, oh, well, God's going to get it done. No, I still have to put in the work. But how far am I going to go? Is I'm going to risk my life or I'm just going to trust God? You know what I mean? So you got to have a balance. Like right now, I'm not chasing nothing. I'm not really on platforms like that. I'm doing what I got to do. And then I'm letting God handle the rest. Because one thing I've noticed about me, and this is just me because I'm a little different. I can't do what everybody else is doing. I hate social media. So you can't expect me to post all the time because I hate it because I manage it for clients. I can't be out here putting ads left and right. I can't be out here TikToking left and right. Like I'll do it, but I can't do it on a consistent basis. Like that's not me.
Oh, girl.
I just can't. Like it's cool, it's cute, but I don't. Creating content, it take a lot out of me.
It do. I turned to my husband the other day and I was like, because I have my online course, but I'm not really promoting it. I'm not really pushing it. I'm trying to revamp it because I wanted to relaunch it and just feel like I'm making it more better or whatever. I turned to my husband. I said, if I got to dance on TikTok to sell this course, it ain't happening. I ain't going to be like, $199, get the course. They're pointing at it. I'm like, listen, but shout out to the people who have it down to a science. But I would be two-stepping in all the videos.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's my dance.
Social media is great. It's a great tool, but I'm trying to build something that's going to be here when Facebook and Instagram and all those things die out. People don't believe it will, but they said the same thing about MySpace, so it ain't going nowhere. Same thing about Vine. It's not going nowhere. Like, come on now. I gotta be brand beyond that, but you just gotta trust God and do what you're supposed to do. And I'm not saying like stress yourself out to where you feel like you're having a panic attack, but literally pray first and foremost. So if you're not doing that, this probably could eliminate a lot of your problems. Pray first and foremost, and then just ask God, what do you want from him? I think what saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of stress is just realizing everybody in my assignment. I can't help everybody, not to say that I don't want to, but you just not a fit for me. But I know somebody who is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to leave you out hanging like that. Like I might not be a good fit, but this young lady is, or this young man is, and I'll be happy to connect y'all. You know what I'm saying? You can save yourself a lot of heartache and stress that way just by realizing you can't pour into everybody and everybody can't pour into you. And that's how you're going to run your business. Treat it like your heart. You know what I mean? Everybody can't get close right here as much as you want to, but you got to protect it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Deidre, I knew you were going to be amazing. I already knew.
Really?
That. Yeah, because
I love real conversations. It's not all about business. It's just, just realizing life itself is precious. Let's try to enjoy that, So I'm glad we had this conversation.
I am as well. And I really appreciate you just giving me your time and your expertise and your story and your journey, and you're inspiring and you're empowering. You are just all these wonderful, amazing things on the third day of Black History.
Yes. And it's National Girl and Women in Sports Day too. So
see, you all of that. You are all of that and a bag of chips. But
Lays.
Yes, Lays. But I really, really thank you for taking time to talk to me today. And I knew that you would be of great value and inspiration and just all the things that we really, really need right now. And so that's why I really wanted to have you on as a guest to talk to you and to introduce you to my audience. So tell everyone how they can connect with you on these social media accounts that you don't like.
I am back on social. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. I'm back on social media. Everything is Deidre Gaskin, DeidreGaskin. No S at the end. It's Deidre Gaskin. It's on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And you can visit my website, MayleeMedia.com, and Maylee Media is on Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely. I thank you so much. You are everything. I love you, and you are one of my faves. So I just thank you again, for coming through and blessing the audience with your presence. And, as always, make sure you support her. If you are looking for media, PR relations, public relations, you're looking for a publicist, reach out to Deidre and she will let you know if she'll let you know if you need to be where the money resides or you need to come back.
That part, yes.
She will let you
know too, okay? But no, for real. No, thank you for having me. Like, I so admire you. Like, I've known you for some years now, and your growth is just amazing. So salute to you. Everything. I honor you and thank you so much. I'm like really digging this though. I think you need to keep on doing this.
I really want to. I really want to. I really do, because I just think given the opportunity to the people like in the scene, behind the scenes, all the scenes, I just love it, because a lot of times it really connects the dots and connects the pieces for people to understand how this whole machine works.
Yeah, and you're putting yourself out there too, so this is a way to bring yourself. So you should have been like Scoop on blogging, hosted by CEO of Ice Cream Combos.
You see her publicisting, right? She publicisting right now.
Just saying, you wanted it. I'm just trying to help you out, you know? Okay.
Look, be like, take my notes. I'll be calling you later like, now what you had said I was supposed to do. You'll be like, but about that retainer. Oh, girl, let me call you back, the baby cry. I get it, but I appreciate you because you have always been good to me. You have always been good to me.
Likewise. I appreciate every event, every feature, everything. Like I like the relationship we got.
Yes, we got a good flourishing relationship.
We do.
We're not toxic. We're not toxic. We're not toxic.
We uplifting each other.
Yes, we
do. Here.
Right here in the middle.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Deidre. I love you so much. And everyone, be sure to follow her on social media. Be sure to visit MayleeMedia.com to get everything that you need in order to connect and grow with this queen.
Yes, we have a Black History Month special too. So go ahead.
Okay, for the Black History Month.
Yes.
Okay. Look at the prices rated on melanin. No, I'm kidding. Like here go my price point. Be like, okay, boo, you in this rate right here. Oh, who I'm calling? Oh, child, I was calling somebody by accident. Seems like I get for playing too much. God was like, let me get her.
Right. He gonna get you. You are a mess. But thank you so much for having me. This was welcome. So fun.
You are most welcome.
Thank you for letting me be me. I ain't got my makeup on, my nails. I took them off this morning.
Okay.
So
that's right.
I like being me.
That's right. I like you being you. I like all of you. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bill. I love you. And thank you for being our guest today. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, baby.
Bye.